children, and welcome to our fourth and last video of our Advent retreat. Let's begin by saying a Hail Mary together. W imię Ojca i Syna i Ducha Świętego. Amen. Zdrowaś Mario, łaski pełna, Pan z Tobą, błogosławionaś Ty między niewiastami i błogosławiony owoc żywota Twojego Jezus. Święta Mario, Matko Boża, módl się za nami grzesznymi, teraz i w godzinę śmierci naszej. Amen. W imię Ojca i Syna i Ducha Świętego. Amen. Over these past few weeks, we've taken a look at the different names of Mary and what each of these stories can teach us about reaching out to God through our Heavenly Mother, who loves us very much. After all these weeks of waiting, we are finally just days away from Christmas, the day we celebrate Jesus' birthday and the day Mother Mary brought our Savior into the world. So today, you will be helping me share the Christmas story as we talk about Our Lady of Bethlehem, the title of Mary received in the place Jesus was born. So how did the story of Jesus' birth begin? It began with Mary, a young lady living in Nazareth who was visited by the angel Gabriel, a messenger from God. The angel said that Mary would be the mother of God's son, who she would name Jesus. How did Mary react to this news? Did she run away and say no to the angel's surprising message? No. Mary said yes. Even though the news was big, scary, and very confusing, Mary let her fear be replaced by love for God so that she could fulfill his plan of bringing his light into the world. God knew he was asking a lot of bravery of Mary, so he never left her to do it alone. He brought her a loving man named Joseph, who also put his trust in God and did everything he could to protect and help Mary. He also promised Mary, as God promises to all of us, that he will always be with her. We must remember that in the same way, God is always helping us. He never asks us of anything we're not capable of doing. So if you ever have something big you need to tackle, just remember that nothing is too big for God, who provides us with all the support we need. The story of Jesus' birth tells us that together, Mary and Joseph traveled to Bethlehem. Do you remember how they got there? Was it by rocket ship? By plane? By car? How about donkey? That sounds right. Mary and Joseph had to take a long, hard road to get to their destination. When they finally got there, where did they stay? Was it in a big fancy castle? A big hotel? Or was it a stable with farm animals? That's right. The Son of God, Jesus our King, was born into a stable. And although this may not seem like much, it was by the kindness of the innkeeper, who didn't even have a bed to sleep in himself, that they had a roof over their heads that night. He gave what he had, even if he didn't have much, and it's little acts like this that help us welcome Jesus into our lives in big ways. Think about how you can do that in your own life. What acts of kindness can you do for your family and loved ones in order to welcome Jesus into your home and your heart? Our Lady of Bethlehem is actually the only image of Mary that reminds us of the goodness Mary received from other people in this world to help her fulfill her mission. Our Lady of Bethlehem is Mary asking us to keep doing good for others, because that is how God continues to come into the world every day. So now that we got to the end of our Advent retreat, we have to ask, with all of these different pictures of Mary, why do we have so many names? I mean, Jesus had only one mom, right? So why do we refer to her as the Black Madonna, Our Lady, our Heavenly Mother? This is because each title reminds us of all the ways in which Mary is connected to us and takes care of us. Since she is endlessly there as our mother, helper, and guide in every part of our lives, including our suffering, joy, decision-making, and serving others, these titles of Mary can make it easier to see her connection to all of these things, based on her connection with people on earth through those titles. During this retreat, we looked at Matka Boska Betlejemska, or the Black Madonna, who helps us during our suffering. We've looked at Matka Boska Pomocy, or Our Lady of Perpetual Help, who helps us bring our prayers to God. We've seen Matka Boska Betlejemska, or Our Lady of the Snows, who helps us say yes to God's life-changing love and letting it cover our hearts. And finally, Our Lady of Bethlehem, who teaches us to trust God and show goodness to others so we can continue bringing Jesus into the world every day. So, as your final challenge, I ask you to draw a picture for your own parents. In the picture, write what you want to say thank you for and why you love them. Just as we've been showing our love to God through Mary over these past few weeks, it's now your chance to look around and be inspired by the goodness of those in your life. We can pass that love and kindness on to others to welcome Jesus as best as we can, not only this Christmas season, but every day of our lives. Thank you for watching and joining me on our Advent retreat over these past few weeks. I hope you all learned a lot and will continue to remember that you'll always have Mother Mary caring for you from heaven and listening to all of your prayers. Merry Christmas!
Matce Boskiej oddajemy cześć. Pan jest z nami, Jezus jest z nami.